Oh dear, two computers.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, and welcome to our In Conversation With. And today I'm speaking to the lovely Esther from Balance and Breathe. And I apologise for us being slightly late. Well, I've got a few technical difficulties this end, and hopefully you can hear me, Esther can hear me, and hopefully this will continue to be live for the whole of our time together today. So welcome, Esther. And do you just want to give us a little bit of information about what you do?
Hi, Tracy Jane, and thank you for inviting me to talk with you today. So I'm Esther, and I run Balance and Breathe. And Balance and Breathe started out just as simple. I was going to teach yoga classes in my local community. But then I realized that I was getting far more from my own yoga growth than I had anticipated. And I was able to recover from a 20-year-long addiction through yoga. So I very quickly realized that there was a lot more to yoga than whether I could touch my toes and if I could do a good lotus position. And I started to become really interested in how yoga could help people manage stress, develop resilience, and manage addictions and free themselves from addictions, and to manage the stress of addiction, and also to manage the stress that maybe, if you can manage the stress, you can prevent yourself from getting to that breakdown point where you can't function because you've reached that point where you are in need of help. So what I do, I use yoga. I do teach yoga classes, but I also use yoga philosophy and yoga practices as a way of life. Yoga to me, and yoga is not just an exercise class, and that is one of the big misconceptions that we have in the West, is that yoga is just about the body. And it really isn't. It is actually a way of life that is designed to help us be emotionally strong, to help us to be in control of our emotions, so that we're not making decisions from that place of emotional kickback, that we're making decisions based on what is the right decision to make at the time, and to help us to live in a way that those decisions are part of who we are. So, if you're deciding, I'm tired, but I've got a lot of things to do. Do I go to bed so that I have the energy to do the things, or do I stay awake till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to do all the things? Well, yoga would say you need the rest more than you need to stay awake until 2. So living with these concepts, this yoga philosophy in mind, it's a lot easier to live a more mindful and gentle life. And when you start treating yourself gently, then that permeates into every other aspect of your life. We're stressed at work, and then we take it out on the family at home, or we have a bad day at home, or we take it out on our colleagues at work, or, whenever you're stressed, it ripples out into the rest of your life. So the more you can manage your stress levels, and yoga provides you with all the tools you need for that, the more your whole life can come into balance. So yoga is about balance. It's not just about being able to balance on one leg. It is about finding balance in your whole life.
Yeah. So for you, Esther, what do you mean by stress? I mean, you've given some examples there, but in terms of we all, I think the word stress is often overused, and people use it just as an excuse sometimes. So what do you think of as stress?
Well, I'm talking about where, we have the moments of stress where, you've got a deadline, or you've got to go and give a presentation to a prospective client, and that produces stress responses that actually fire you up and energize you and get you really focused on what you're doing. But then there's this other stress, and that type of stress has been termed by Hans Seeley as eustress, which is like good stress.
Yeah.
It's really motivating sort of stress.
And adrenaline. Is it like?
Yes. Well, adrenaline is good in the moment when you need it. But what happens with stress is we we trigger the flight or fight response when we get into stress, as I'm sure you know. And that flight or fight response has an awful lot of physiological impact on us. So it changes the heart rate, it changes the blood pressure, it tenses up the muscles, it changes the pupils, become not dilated, wider, so that we can see more. You know, the digestive system gets affected. Every system in the body becomes affected by stress, by that flight or fight response. And the logical brain also kind of shuts down because we're firing on instinct rather than thinking and logic. And so in a moment where, you know, your child is about to be hit by a car and you go and grab them, you don't want to spend time analyzing the pros and cons of grabbing your child. You just do it and you don't think about it. Your body does it for you, basically. But that flight or fight response isn't meant to last very long. It's meant to serve its purpose, and then we're supposed to calm down. And in a life or death situation, that's what would happen. The thing would happen, and then there would be a conclusion, and then the moment of stress would be over, and eventually we'd calm down. But in the modern world, and I think it is quite possibly a very modern phenomenon, we never have that chance to calm down. So we might have, and also we get lots of those little moments where they're not life or death, but there might be a succession of stressful moments throughout your day. You know, you might get, your kids might take forever to get ready for school. Then you're on your way to work and you get stuck in traffic. Then someone cuts you up on the roundabout. Then somebody starts complaining at you the minute you walk through the door. And these little things just keep piling on the stress, and we never get a chance to come down from that. So you never get a chance to come out of the flight or fight, and you're constantly there. And then over time, those little things that just keep chipping away at you, they pile up and create all kinds of health problems, such as IBS, heart problems, respiratory disorders, any digestive function, and they can also, obviously, because we are told alcohol, the great problem solver, can lead to drinking too much. It can lead us to eating too much. It can lead to all kinds of, there's no good conclusion to it, really. Yeah. Most of the problems that we have in terms of health and well-being in the modern world have stress at their root. And it's quite terrifying because it's completely man-made. It's not like, there are natural causes of illness, but actually we are creating this ourselves. Our society creates it. And I think the more that we get time-saving devices and all these apps that are supposed to help us, your phone tells you what to do more than your partner or your boss or your clients or your kids do. And that, it just creates this constant nagging at us. I've got a Fitbit, so because I haven't done my 250 steps, I feel like, I should do my 250 steps now. Yeah. So there's all these things just constantly putting little amounts of pressure on us. And I think it's that low level of pressure that you don't notice until you have a heart attack, or you explode in the middle of a meeting, or you have a complete meltdown because you can't get your shoes on quickly enough in the morning. Yeah. It just creeps up on you, and that's the really dangerous levels of stress, and that's and also the easiest ones to once you learn some techniques to manage that, and they're easily managed as well. So that's the good news about it, is that none of this is actually necessary. You can find ways around it.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people will be totally understanding what you're saying, Esther, and those of us who are business owners as well almost have another level. That we add to ourselves. It's our choice to be a business owner, so we're adding that extra level to our lives. So what are your top tips for business owners to sort of keep the lid on things, or what can we do in our daily lives, Esther, that, you know, will help us, you know, manage those things that you've just talked about?
Yeah, so there are lots of would you like a top 5? Shall I give you top 5 tips?
Top 5.
Yeah, so top 5 would be make sure you get enough sleep. Absolutely. There is no glory to be had in being awake till 2 o'clock in the morning and getting up at 6 o'clock to carry on working. You're gonna take yourself into burnout, and that's not gonna help you. That's not gonna help your clients. It's not gonna help your business, your family, anyone. So the top thing is to make sure you get enough sleep. And I know that as a business owner, it can be really hard to let go of all the things that you get to the end, you get to 10 o'clock and you think, I can't possibly stop working now. I've got all this other stuff to do. Well, you'll do a lot better at it if you get a good night's sleep. You will absolutely, sleep is vital to mental health, cognitive function, physical health. You will absolutely rock it in the morning if you've had a good night's sleep. So don't think that you're sacrificing your business for sleep. You getting a good night's sleep is actually going to do wonders for your business. So make sure you get enough sleep. That's the top one. If you struggle to kind of let go of everything, write out your list of all the things you're going to do tomorrow so that you can get it out of your, before you go to bed, grab your notebook and pen and write down all the things that you want to get done tomorrow so that you can get them out of your head and stop worrying about them, and then leave all your gadgets, everything technological that could lead to you checking your emails at 3 o'clock in the morning, leave all downstairs and just get some sleep. And, you might have to work for a little while on creating that as a possibility for yourself. If you used to be up and burning the midnight oil, then it'll take you a while, but you will thank me for advising you, and you will thank yourself for doing it if you manage to establish some sort of healthier sleep routine. So linked to that is give yourself a bit of time in the morning as well before you start work to do something for yourself, whether that's a bit of exercise, whether it's journaling, whether it's just sitting down with a cup of tea and a notebook, whether it's doing some meditation. Make sure that you take some time in the morning to make sure that you're awake and to give yourself a little bit of time that's for you. If you've got children, spend that time with them instead of shouting at them to get dressed while you're typing away at your laptop. Give yourself time, because you are your business. And if you don't take care of yourself, you're not taking care of your business. So it is really important that you prioritize yourself, because nobody else is going to run your business for you if you end up falling apart. So that's number 2, make time for yourself in the morning. Number 3 is take breaks. So make sure that you take breaks. Make sure that you give yourself some time out. If in the middle of the day, even if it's just walking around the house a little bit or go for a 10-minute walk, give yourself breaks in the day just to let your mind settle and calm down. You will find that you'll be able to think better. If you spend 6 hours at a computer working the whole time, your brain is going to get tired and you're just going to feel like you're trudging through treacle by the end of it. If you take breaks, then you will be able to function better. That 10-minute break could mean that you're far more effective for the next 3 hours than if you don't take that 10-minute break. So take breaks. Number 4, practice gratitude. I'm sure that you've heard this a lot, but gratitude really is a transformational practice. If when you're feeling overwhelmed, because running a business can be so overwhelming. When you're feeling overwhelmed, stop and list all the reasons why you're glad you're a business owner. I mean, I went into, at the start of this, I went straight into all the reasons, essentially why I'm glad I'm not commuting every day, because all those things that I talked about earlier on were reasons why I'm glad I don't have to go work in an office anymore. Yeah. So practice gratitude, and make sure that in that gratitude, you're also gratitude for yourself and for what you're doing as well. I know that for myself, it's too easy to focus on all the good things that are happening to you, and we can forget that actually you're at the heart of that. So make sure that when you practice your gratitude, you're practicing gratitude for what you're doing. So, you know, I'm really glad I wrote that great sales page yesterday, rather than I'm really glad that somebody did something nice for me. You know, make sure that you're really being grateful for what you're doing, so that you can really feel like that appreciation for yourself. I've said 5, but I've got another one that's come into my head. So can I do 6?
Yes. Well, I've only got 4. So I've
got another 2. I've got another 2.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So the 5th one is one that I don't do enough, which is get help. You know, as business owners, we are running around trying to do a million things every day. Get help, get support. Make sure you've got someone you can talk to about this. So, you know, join we know each other through a Facebook community. So make sure join, even if it is an online community. Online communities are perfect for business owners, because you can go in there, have a bit of a rant, ask your questions, and get support. So make sure you get help in terms of your emotional support, but also if you don't know how to, create a website, don't spend 3 weeks trying to work out how to set up a WordPress account. Find someone who knows what they're doing and do it for you, because your energy is better spent somewhere else, and you will feel far more successful if you can just unleash something that somebody else has done for you, and you're the brains behind it. You haven't had to do all the legwork. So, you know, you don't have to do everything. Get help. And the last one, and I know I could go on for ages, but I'm going to stop at number 6, is breathe. And I'm very aware that I'm getting more excited and my breathing is getting shallower. But breathing really is the absolute core of what I think yoga is about. It is the core of health and well-being and life. You know, I mean, you know, it's the first thing we do when we're born. It's the last thing we are ever going to do in this life is take a breath. And when you go through life just breathing without being aware of it, you are missing out on so much. When you become conscious of your breath and you learn how to breathe properly, it is utterly, utterly life-changing. I am 100% sure that the reason why my yoga teacher training was able to get me where it got me is because I learned to breathe, and I learned to control my breath. I learned to use my breath. When you breathe deeply and slowly and with mindfulness and conscious thought, that helps you to calm down your emotions. It takes you out of the flight or fight response. So if you are feeling really stressed and you can't, you know, when you feel stressed, it affects your breathing anyway. So when you're feeling stressed, if you can get yourself to take a few breaths, it's going to immediately calm you down, immediately bring you out of that overwhelm and panic. It's going to help you to manage your emotions. It's going to help with your decision making. So if you've got a big decision to make, or if you're in the middle of some big strategic thinking, take some time out and spend a little bit of time just sitting quietly, focusing on your breath. And you'll find that enables your brain to think on a slightly different tangent. It really helps to sort of unblock your brain and unblock your mind a little. You get quiet, you can listen to your intuition a little bit more. And that you might find that an idea will pop into your head that you hadn't thought of before. And suddenly a problem is solved. It's also really, really good. My first tip was get more sleep. I think it was my first one.
It was, yes.
Yeah, so if you're struggling with that, get yourself into bed and just lie there on your back, nice and flat, with your body relaxed, and just focus on your breath. And just keep yourself focused on your breath, slow, deep breaths. And you will find that will help to relax you. It will stop your mind ticking over, wondering, thinking about all the things that you think you've got to do before you go to bed. It'll help you to relax because it'll give your mind a focus. So whenever you find your mind wandering, you can come back to your breath and just relax and help you to calm down. I can actually give your listeners, I can put a link on the comments later.
Yeah.
I don't have a list of comments, but I can add it on in Facebook.
Yeah.
But I've got a download of an MP3, which a relaxation, which would be really helpful. So if people want to have that, I can send you a link to be able to download that. It'll be really helpful if so it focuses on the breath, but then it also takes you through relaxing the body as well. So perfect to combine those two tips, the first one and the last one, combined together in a relaxation MP3.
Oh, Esther, that's so helpful. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you.
And I think one of the things, you know, I know, you know, from my experience and coaching people over, you know, quite a number of years now, you know, a lot of times I just say to people, just stop, breathe, you know, and they go, oh yeah, I forget about that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we do. I mean, breathing is the most natural thing in the world, but so many of us forget to just, and just take ourselves down. So it's brilliant that you've just brought that up again today.
We become very poor breathers as well as we grow. We start off knowing how to breathe. You know, babies, if you watch a baby breathing, their breath is it's filling the whole of their little lungs. I remember watching my son when it must have been when he was about 4. And he was still breathing properly then. A year later, and his breathing had changed because we get used to sitting in certain ways. We slouch. We become less connected to our bodies. Like small children, they're very connected to their bodies. And they're very connected to the moment. And, of course, the breath connects us to the moment. So, you know, as we grow, we become less connected to the body as we become more connected or more aware of the world around us. And everything starts to, you know, so many things to stimulate the mind, we forget about the body. So we need to learn how to breathe properly. You know, if you tell someone to take a deep breath, very often they do this. They're not breathing into your shoulders. So a good breath will fill your whole of your lungs. And we talk about breathing in when we talk about squeezing our belly in to get into a pair of tight jeans. But that's the exact opposite of the truth. Because if you breathe in and you fill your lungs, they're not getting smaller. You know, the space is getting bigger. So when we breathe in, if you're going to breathe into the bottom of your lungs, your belly actually gets bigger. And that's a hard one to have to demonstrate as a yoga teacher who's long, you know, my entire life I've spent trying to hide my belly from the world, and then I have to show it off. And make it
Good for you, Esther. So you're going to share a link with us after this call.
Yes, I will. I'll drop that into the comments.
Better and to meditate a little bit. And I'll pull the top tips together. I'll put those below as well and share that for people. Do we have any questions from anybody? I know we've got Angie's listening in with us today live. So any questions, Angie? I don't think we had any. Don't think any have come through on any of the channels that we asked for. Just waiting to see.
I haven't had any questions from anybody.
So I'm just checking all the channels here. Any questions? Okay. Esther, where can we find, if people are wanting to find out more about you and more about what you do, how can they find out a little bit more about you?
So my website is balanceandbreathe.co.uk, and I'm on most of the big social channels. Facebook, I'm facebook.com/balancebreathe. Oh, we've got a question.
Excellent. Okay, so question is, what would you say is the difference between stress and anxiety? Brilliant question.
So I think anxiety is a byproduct of stress. I don't know the medical definitions, and I think that anxiety comes out of feeling stressed. So the stress is a biological response to a situation. It's a biological, mental and emotional response. And then when that stress hasn't been dealt with, it leads to anxiety. That's not an official medical scientific definition, obviously, but that's how I interpret those two things. So again, stress is at the root of anxiety. So if you can calm the stress, and a person suffering with anxiety, if they can be given coping strategies to manage the stress that they feel, then their anxiety. So I think anxiety is symptoms rather than and stress is the condition. So yeah, I think that would be
okay. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for that question.
So we can find you at balanceandbreathe.co.uk.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Esther Nagle, and Pinterest as well. I'm on there. All over the place. I love a bit of social media, me.
Excellent. Excellent. And just sort of to tell people that the business cheerleading club, which I'm now running, is just like you were saying before, is a place for people to come and be supported. And it is that place that people can come and rant or ask questions, ask how to do something. And for business owners, you know, that's somewhere where I didn't have that. You know, in the last 15 years of being in business, I've never found one place to go to for, you know, all of those questions. And I know, you know, we're in a very supportive group together, Esther, aren't we? Yes. with the arrows, follow the arrows. And they help us with all sorts of different things. And I'm now, you know, creating this place for other people, for all different aspects of their business, to help them to grow. So hopefully, you know, people can find out more about you and what you do. And you know, you're creating a place that people can learn more about how to use yoga, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I'm in the same group where we met. I'm creating the Shakti Lounge, which is a space where I'm going to be teaching the sort of some of, you know, among many others, the things that I talked about here today. And it is aimed at not just stress management, but about personal growth and how, by learning to manage our stress and by relaxing and learning all the beautiful gifts that yoga has to offer, you can actually grow into the person that you were born to be. You know, through personal growth, you might discover that you're living completely the wrong life, or that you've got all these other ambitions that you didn't even realize you had. And you might just find yourself happy as well. So there's the Shakti Lounge, and there's details about that on my website.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today, Esther. I've learned a lot from you. And we'll put all the links below here. And any questions about anything that we've talked about today, please contact Esther at balanceandbreathe.co.uk or myself, Tracy Jane Hughes, at managethosethings.com. And thank you so much for your questions, Angie. And see you soon, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.